This is Genesis, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I don't know if you guys have noticed the trend, but it seems this year we continue to get these conversations of possible great fights that can be made. And then as soon as we get our hopes up high, all of a sudden, one of the fighters pulls out. And then we're left with no fights for 2021. Let's hope that's not the case when it comes to Vasyl Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. So Devin Haney, he went to his Twitter account and he said, "Where the F is Vasyl Lomachenko at?" And I think after a couple of hours, Lomachenko, he responded and he said, "I'm here. I'm waiting for you cowards to decide on a real fight and not on a Twitter fight." And then Devin said, "Waiting is not your best bet. I would think you learned that from the Tio fight." Then Loma says, "Waiting is your favorite action because you still haven't fought with anyone." Devin claps back by saying, "I was definitely waiting to fight you when I was your mandatory and you petitioned for the franchise." And then after Devin Haney said that, Lomachenko, he stopped responding. And then you also had an exchange that Devin had with Jorge Linares. Well, Jorge was trying to say that he wanted to fight. He said he's available in April. Devin Haney has said, "We already sent you a contract. How come you didn't sign it?" Jorge Linares, he said, "You're lying. We didn't get a contract." And that's pretty much how that conversation ended. But I want to focus more on the Lomachenko situation. For those of you guys who don't know, let's just go ahead and put all of this in chronological order. For those of you guys who don't know, if Lomachenko would have did what he was supposed to do, Devin Haney would have got the Lomachenko fight before Teofimo Lopez got the fight. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this clip so you guys know what I'm talking about.
You are now the mandatory challenger for Vasyl Lomachenko's 135-pound title. Do you believe at 20 years old you're ready for that type of challenge?
I think you said his name wrong. It's Lomachenko because he doesn't want to fight me. But it's I feel like I'm ready for the fight. This is the WBC mandatory. So Lomachenko, come on, man, let's get this fight going.
A lot of guys have said they want Lomachenko. You're the next on that list.
Lomachenko.
My mistake. A lot of guys say they want him. What makes you believe that at this stage of your career you're ready for that type of fight?
Like I said, Abdulaev was the number 2, mandatory. I went in there, I destroyed him. He was no contest for me. If I'm so easy, Lomachenko should just fight me and get me out the way.
Okay, so you guys heard it right there. This, once again, was before Lomachenko, he fought against Teofimo. For those of you guys who don't know, Lomachenko, he vacated his belt to avoid his mandatory Devin Haney. Now, it's really important to note that before Devin Haney was his mandatory, Lomachenko had fought all of his mandatories, and he had fought a lot of mandatories in the past. It wasn't until Devin became his mandatory that he decided to pass and just give up his belt. And then Lomachenko in Top Rank reached out to the WBC president and requested the franchise trophy. And then Devin Haney, he just recently went on the Mike Tyson show where he showed Tyson his text messages he had with Lomachenko, where he was telling Lomachenko, "Let's make this fight, man. This is a big fight, big pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? We both gonna get paid good. Let's make the fight." And you know what Lomachenko's response was? "I'll keep that in mind." So funny about that, that's exactly how Ryan Garcia responded when Eddie Hearn pulled up on him on an interview. You guys can see, that's the last video I think I uploaded. Eddie Hearn, he put it on Ryan Garcia. He told Ryan, "You need to fight Devin Haney." He said, and Ryan kept saying, "Well, yeah, but I'm trying to fight Manny. I'm trying to fight Tank Davis." And Eddie said, "Look, if you fight any of those guys next, I got nothing to say. But I'm telling you, if you don't fight those guys, you should consider fighting Devin Haney. It's a big payday. It's a super fight. There's no reason for you to not take the fight." And it was funny because Ryan said again, he said, "But if I do fight a Tank and Manny," once again, Eddie said, "Yeah, I get that. I'm saying to you, if you don't get the fight, you should consider it." And that's when Ryan just said, "I will," meaning I will consider it. It makes no sense for Ryan because, once again, if he doesn't fight against Devin Haney if he doesn't get the Tank or the Manny Pacquiao fight next. It would make absolutely no sense because he's not going to make the kind of money that he would have made fighting Devin Haney. When it comes to Devin Haney, Lomachenko says, I'll keep that in mind. When it comes to Ryan, he says, yeah, I'll consider it. Now, even though I believe when it comes to Lomachenko or Ryan Garcia, I believe Lomachenko would possibly be more willing to get in the ring with Devin Haney than Ryan. But at the same time, when you listen to that tweet, the exchange he had with Devin Haney, you know, it sounds a little suspect. Like when he says certain things like, I'm waiting for you cowards to see who you're gonna fight. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would you be waiting to see who they're gonna fight? You're not a boxing fan. You're not a commentator. You're not an analyst. That's what we do. We wait to see who's gonna fight who. But you're supposed to be making the fights. You're supposed to be a part of the process. And then you call Devin a coward after it was you that vacated your belt to avoid Devin Haney. That's like Canelo calling Andrade and Charlo a coward. So that made absolutely no sense when Lomachenko said that. And then when Devin Haney, when he ended the conversation, or at least the last post, when he said, look, man, I was waiting for you to fight me when I was your mandatory. And then Lomachenko, he no longer responded. So it kind of makes you feel like there's a very good chance that Loma is about to pull a Gary Russell or a Teofimo when it comes to fighting Devin Haney. Only thing I will say though is Lomachenko did seem extremely hesitant to fight Guillermo Rigo as well. And we've seen what he did to Guillermo Rigo. But that was a much different situation because Guillermo Rigo was coming up 2 weight classes and he's a southpaw. He's shorter than Lomachenko. And Lomachenko, by his own admission, he said that those are his favorite opponents to fight is southpaws. He said he does really well against southpaws. And I know personally that Lomachenko, he does really well against short boxers, period. He did really well against Gary Russell. He did really well against Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, where he doesn't do well is against tall, long fighters that use foot movement in the ring, as we seen in the Luke Campbell fight. As we also seen when it came to Teofimo. Teofimo is not as tall and as long, but he is longer than Lomachenko, and he fought Lomachenko at a distance, which is exactly the way Devin would fight him. But I think Devin would be fighting on the outside and the inside because Lomachenko is not that much of an inside fighter. Neither is Teofimo, and that's why we got the kind of fight that we got between those two. So if Lomachenko is willing to take the Devin Haney fight, I would really love to see that fight next, even though Lomachenko just came off of his loss, but the way he lost would still make a fight between Loma and Devin Haney a huge fight. You also have to remember, even though all of these pound for pound lists today are so watered down and so subjective, not like they were back in the day when Floyd Mayweather was the pound for pound champion. He was the undisputed pound for pound champion. Even the websites, the boxing websites that were racist and hated him, even they had him as #1 because it was undeniable, right? But now it's like, especially with old media, all they just put up whoever is their favorite fighter, they just put them up there. They don't care who they fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Yildirim is a perfect example. If Canelo really wanted to, he could fight a Yildirim every 6 months. And old media, they would still say he's pound for pound because it's not about who he fights, it's about who they like. So when it comes to the Lomachenko situation, these type of people, they still have Lomachenko on the pound for pound list. That alone makes it a big win for Devin Haney if he were to beat a fighter who's still on the pound for pound list. This fighter that fans were saying is possibly the greatest since Muhammad Ali and the greatest amateur with 400 amateur wins, etc., etc. The man that ESPN's or former ESPN's Dan Rafael said would beat Floyd Mayweather or give him hell. This is the guy that Devin Haney could possibly get in the ring with. This is also the guy that Teofimo said nobody else is willing to fight. Teo said nobody else is going to beat Lomachenko. Only he could do it, is what he said. That's once again why this would make it a big fight and a big win if Devin Haney were to get the fight and then beat him. Right now, Bob is talking about matching Lomachenko up with Nakatani, but there's still a great possibility that he can end up matching Lomachenko up with Devin Haney. I mean, even if Loma does fight Nakatani, right now, T.O. doesn't want to fight him. Tank hasn't showed an interest, or I don't know. I don't know if Tank is going to fight Lomachenko, but let's say Tank is not going to fight Lomachenko. Garcia hasn't really showed an interest when it comes to fighting Lomachenko. So that means Loma, he's not going to get a Ryan fight, a Tank fight, or a T.O. fight. That leaves only one good fight for him. And he, according to Lomachenko, he wants to stay at 135. Bob wanted him to move back down to 130. So if he's going to stay there, then right now it's starting to look like Devin and Loma may actually need each other. So hopefully this fight gets made. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a good chance that we can still end up seeing Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. I like that fight a lot as well. And then Loma versus Nakatani, and maybe the winners fight against each other. Hopefully it plays out that way. Another reason why the Devin Haney-Lomachenko fight makes sense, because the winner of that fight will put an enormous amount of pressure on Teofimo to take the fight. Either the rematch with Lomachenko or a fight with Devin Haney. Let's see what happens. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, in the world that we live in today, one of the most important things in life to have is a good lawyer. And I can vouch for this one right here, because this brother is my personal lawyer. So if you need any type of legal representation, if you need legal advice, if you're having problems on YouTube, on your regular job, or whatever it is, contact lawyer, mediator, and business consultant Issa Israel's law firm. I've been knowing this man for a while, and he has been a true blessing to me. I'm telling you, he's affordable, he will work with you, but most importantly, he's not going to just treat you like a customer. He will have your best interest. So to get in contact with him, go to iilawfirm.com or consultsglobal.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, in the world that we live in today, one of the most important things in life to have is a good lawyer. And I can vouch for this one right here, because this brother is my personal lawyer. So if you need any type of legal representation, if you need legal advice, if you're having problems on YouTube, on your regular job, or whatever it is, contact lawyer, mediator, and business consultant Issa Israel's law firm. I've been knowing this man for a while, and he has been a true blessing to me. I'm telling you, he's affordable, he will work with you, but most importantly, he's not going to just treat you like a customer. He will have your best interest. So to get in contact with him, go to iilawfirm.com or consultsglobal.com.